so I'm here with a regular chair. It's about knee height for me, so my feet can stay right underneath my knees. My knees are in line with my hips. Hopefully you're in that same place. If you have a chair with wheels, please lock your wheels. I don't want you rolling away. All right, we're gonna get started with our first class. All over body today. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your outer skin, the outer musculature, and let your skeleton stay up nice and tall. I'm going to soften my eyes. I'm not going to close my eyes because I want to hold this space for you. You are more than welcome to close your eyes. See if you can put your lips together and begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Again. And this is your last one this way. Now let's see if we can expand our exhales a little bit to release some anxiety, to ignite your parasympathetic nervous system. So as you inhale, fill up, feel your lungs fill, feel your spine sit up nice and tall. Everything, remember, we said on the outside was relaxed. As you exhale, soften into that spine. Soften into your skeletal system. Soften the muscles, the teeth clenching, the furrowed eyebrows, everything as you exhale. As you begin your next inhale, don't bring that tension with you. Keep it away. Lengthen out your exhale. We'll go one more time. Just notice your body's reaction to your lengthening of your exhales. Notice now as you just return to your natural breath how maybe you sit a little deeper in your chair. Your spine sits a little taller, but everything surrounding your bones is soft. We're going to try to keep that softness for this first round of stretches. We'll start with just turning your chin over your left shoulder. Nice and easy. Keep your chin lifted away from your shoulder. And then back into the center. Turn your chin over your right shoulder. Back into the center. We're going to layer. So turn it over your left again and release your right hand down next to you. Let it be heavy. Return your chin to center, and same thing on the right side. Let your chin go over that right shoulder. Your left hand hangs heavy. One last rotation over your left shoulder. This time release your right arm away from your body and push your pinky back. Now you're going to feel all kinds of firing up in the shoulder, even through the biceps, the triceps, maybe even the elbow. It's okay, let it be there. If it doesn't feel comfortable or you feel tingling, let that go. Chin over your right shoulder, release your left hand up and back. Make sure your chin stays lifted, not down. No looking down. And then return back to center. I want you to imagine that you're rolling up your chin, so you're tucking it under like a fruit roller. Notice my shoulders stay back on my back. They don't round forward with me. Lift your chin and imagine you're literally rolling up your chin up underneath, and we're going to extend it into your upper back. So as your chin rounds down, let your shoulders start to round down with you. Just your shoulders. Leave your middle back out of the game. And then lift and gaze back up. Now we'll get the middle back involved. So as you round and tuck under, lengthening out your cervical spine, let your shoulders round forward. Let your middle back push towards the back of the chair. Feel your belly button pull to your spine, engaging your transverse abdominis to help you find flexion in your back. Go ahead and lift your ribs towards me. Lift your chin away from your chest. One last time. This time it's your whole spine. So tuck it under. Tuck all the way and round. Tuck and round a little bit more. Imagine your belly button pulling your spine to push your ribs to the chair behind you. Reverse how you rolled out in. So roll out by lifting your pelvis, then lifting your ribs, then lifting your chin slowly away from your chest, and everything feels already upright and lifted. Let's get into the shoulders a little bit. So take your hands shoulder height and just look palms up and palms down. This is where I always hear a lot of creaking and crackling. It's all good. All those muscles, the fibers of your muscles need to roll over each other. They need to create lubrication, otherwise they're going to stay stagnant. Nobody wants to stay stagnant, especially not right now, right? Palms facing forward, just big circles. Draw your pinkies down, your hands go back, up and around. Just big circles. Again, maybe this is where you start to hear some, I like to call them Rice Krispies, snap, crackles, and pops in your shoulders. It's all good, no judging it. It just is. And if one arm goes higher than the other, so be it. Switch your rotation, right? Some people have a little bit of a frozen, let's say, left shoulder. So their right arm should go up. If their left arm can't go up that high, just let it go to where it can go. Opposite sides of the body want to do the same thing though. So I understand that's not easy all in and of itself. From here, all I want you to do is take your hands forward. Interlace your fingers, draw your palms towards me, the straightest elbow you can get. Tuck your chin down towards your chest and hollow out that belly button one more time. The shape doesn't change, you just lift up. So lift up. Palms still reach up. Now maybe your elbows need to bend because you're tight in the shoulders. So what? Let them bend. If you can, lift your gaze up. Maybe press back a little bit deeper. And then release your chin to neutral. Release your hands down. I'm sure your arms are pretty tired by now. We're going to move into core and get your arms out of the way. We'll take your left hand in front. Big breath in. Let your belly expand towards your hands. Now as you exhale, go ahead through your mouth and pull your belly button in. It's pulling away from your front hand. And we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, expand, and I'm greatly exaggerating it. Exhale, pull in. Now hold that pull in, but breathe. You have the option to take your right hand to your low back. I like doing that because it gives me feedback in my low back. If your shoulder mobility isn't there, you could take your hand to your hip, or you're always welcome to stay pushing down onto your thigh just gently. We'll take this shape, and I want you to imagine now that your spine is fused from the top of your head all the way through your tailbone. It cannot move. So all the curves are just as they are. Just dip your left shoulder down. Then dip your chest towards me. Remember, no changes in your spine. Over to the right, and then zoop it back up. Over to the left, then hinge it forward. Pull that waist in. Right here, it doesn't want to pull in. Pull it in tighter where it doesn't want to. Now we switch sides. You go right, and then center. So I like here the feedback in the low back. Push your low back into your hand without changing the shape of your spine, because remember, you got that rod in your spine right now. We'll get rid of it in a minute. Last one. Now hold it here. First, we're still on this tall spine. Heel toe your feet a little bit apart so your chest has place to go between your thighs. Again, no change in the shape of your spine. That's why your hands are here. And let's switch. Let's take your right in front and take your left behind. Deep breath in. Let your belly expand out. Like I said, I'm greatly exaggerating it. As you exhale, pull your belly away from your hand. Feel your low abdominals engaged to hold you there. And now you just hinge forward as you inhale. As you exhale, think about your belly button pulling to your spine to lift your spine back to perpendicular to the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale. And if you start to feel rounding, you've gone too far. Exhale, pull up. Only go where it works in your body. Your body might not go as far as mine. Your might go farther. Great, go. Exhale, pull your waist in to lift all the way back up. And then go ahead and release your hands down. Try to keep that buttoning up of your abdominal wall, your belly button pulling in. I want you to stay engaged in your transverse abdominis as we start to extend your left leg. Now, as I extend my left leg, my hamstring is still sitting on the chair, so I have to scooch forward. Depending on your chair, you may need to scooch over to the side even. Doesn't matter as long as your right knee and ankle are in alignment, right in line with your hip, so I don't want them outside of your hip, and your left leg is in line, your knee is in line with your left hip. That's correct. Flex your foot deeply. Point your toes towards your nose. Are you still pulling in here? Tendency is to forget, and I understand. Point your toes as much as you can and spread them apart as much as you can. Then just do it one more time. Toes towards your nose, toes towards the floor. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't drink enough water in general, and at nighttime, ooh, those calf and shin cramps, they get me. This is where we need to go before bed. Stretch through those muscles. Plus the water does help. Keeping your spine nice and tall, you're going to hinge your straight shape forward. As soon as you feel your back start to round, I want you to stop and hang out. As long as your left hand doesn't hang out on your left knee, you can take your right forearm to your right thigh, left hand, left thigh. If you're further down, go ahead further down. As long as your spine, I'm going to turn to the side, you guys are going to stay straight. As long as your spine stays nice and long and straight, that's what I'm looking for. Again, as soon as you feel your low back round or your middle back round, come up out of that space. Lift your heart so your spine is tall. Engage that low layer of the abdominals we talked about without holding your breath, and hinge into your forward fold. So this is from your forward fold. Keep your left hand on your left, I'm going to say shin. Now, if it's all the way up high into your thigh, I'm fine with that, but I'm going to shoot for my shin. Push down, and then open your right arm all the way up towards the sky. Keep your gaze down towards your toes. So I want your neck neutral. This is just about your shoulder. Now you can take your gaze with you, and you'll feel your ribs start to roll left rib towards right thigh. Bring everything back center. Gaze follows your hand. Push up on now your right hand onto your left shin, and keep your gaze down. Open up your left hand. I like my right hand and my right and the inner leg hugging against each other to help for support. Now gaze two and open up and roll, and feel how that changes the rotation for you. Bring everything back to center. We're going to do that second side. Slowly lift up. In between sides, I want to do a little bit of an experiment. So feet are nice and wide, toes are nice and wide, heels pushing into the floor, toe box pushing into the floor, big toe and pinky toe. Now keeping that right leg nice and solid and straight, just lift your left heel and drop it back down. Lift heel, drop down. So we're going to continue this. We're going to lift heel and now lift the toe box. If it's too much, you don't need to lift the toe box. All I need you to do is lighten the load on the toe box. If you want to grab on with your left hand underneath your hamstring, go for it. If you feel like you need the chair for support as well, use it. That's why it's here. All it is lift and lift. Toe, heel, heel, toe, heel. Next one, you're going to be like, I don't know, my hip flexor. It's okay to feel your hip flexor. Go ahead and put your heel down towards the floor, and now we'll extend your right leg. Flex your toes towards your nose. And then draw the toes towards the floor, wide toes. It's okay in those marchings, flex your foot, to feel your hip flexor. Feel pain? Not so okay. So now just keep the toes pointing towards the ceiling. Remember your straight spine, pull your low waist in, and just hinge. Just is, the key word there. You can take your left forearm, left thigh. You can shoot down your leg as long as, like I said, your spine stays nice and tall. Right hand onto your right shin. I want you to push down on it. Keep your gaze down, and then open up your left arm to the left. Keep your gaze at your right ankle. Now take your gaze as if your eyes are trying to chase your hand, but your hand reaches towards the ceiling. Up everything goes. You're going to feel the rotation of your rib cage. Now it's really healthy for your low back because you're sitting on your bum, and so you cannot possibly tweak into that low back because you're really grounded. Everything comes back into the center. Left hand replaces right. First push away, gaze stays down. I know you're really excited for that right arm to open up. Now go ahead and your gaze chases your hand and lift and look up. Again, left ribs towards right thigh. Everything comes back down together. And then hinge this straight shape all the way up. So snap that belly button in, flatten your foot, and here we go with the left side. So lift and spread your toes. Right side, I'm sorry. Ground your heels, ground your big toe ball mount, and your pinky toe. I want your pinky toe to kind of push itself into the floor. You're going to feel your knees align correctly over your ankles when that happens. Lift your right heel and take it down. Lift right heel and take down. Now, sides of the body are different. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. But usually at your dominant side, maybe you're right-handed, this is your dominant side. I'm mirroring you, so it's actually my non-dominant side. But one is easier, and that's just okay. Lift the heel, lift the toes. Toes down, heel down. You don't have to lift the toes all the way up. If your leg is tired, it's fine. I want to engage through the quadricep. Don't make that poor hip flexor do it all, but I do want it to work. We're going to give her a good stretch in a second. And again, you're welcome to hold on however fits you. And this is your last one, just like that. So now we're going to turn over towards, let me think about this, towards the left. Just rotate and send your right leg back behind you. So I like this because I like you have the back of the chair right here to hold on to. Send your right leg back as far as you can. As soon as you feel like your heel is behind your toe box, scooch that toe box back. Your knee is in line with your hip. So from your hip to your knee is a straight line. And I want you to imagine that you're pushing that knee towards the floor without dumping over into it. You're going to need to squeeze your seat to support your pelvis so your pelvis stays level and doesn't dip down. By squeezing that posing muscle, it allows this muscle to stretch. I'm sure I'm telling you, preaching to the choir, right? I know you feel it. Slowly release that squeeze, slide your right leg in, and we'll rotate sides. Now, because I'm mirroring you, it might not always be the right way, but you know what I mean. You can switch sides as you see fit. Slide your left leg back, and again, pushing back through your heel. Squeeze your seat and press down through your knee. As you press down through your knee, I want you to imagine your left hip as a headlight, right there, that hip point, straight ahead. And you don't have to make the sound effects. All right, slowly release the squeeze, bring it back into the center and rotate. I have, before we stand up, I have a gray band. It's stretchy. Yours may look like other things. As long as it's a stretchy band, you're more than welcome to use it. If you don't have one, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to show you, cue you with it, and then I'll cue you without it. So I want you to take your feet all the way close together, your inner knees together, your inner thighs together. And again, make sure ankles are aligned with your knees. So if you have a lot of band, you're going to go over and under. So you create a little bit like of a rubber band. If you don't have a lot of band, you're more than welcome to just go under, but hold both tails, like so. So there is that resistance. You're not, defeating the purpose. If you have no band, you're going to take your hands to the outer thighs. Not a ton. I want you to relax through the shoulders. So you're not going to feel as much resistance maybe as you do with the band, but you're going to feel it. So we're going to work through our abductors and our adductors. So adding and the abductors and the outer edge, which traditionally women are a little bit more overstretched. We're going over and under. That's how it is. For your toes as wide as you can. Hold on to this strap. It is just for resistance purposes. And all you're going to do is draw both knees away from each other. Hold them there. Your inner feet do not leave the floor. Slow, 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 and slower. They return to center. So take it on your out. Hold it on your out. Hug your inner ankles towards each other and your inner arch down towards the floor. It's still going to lift because you've got pressure on the outer edges of your feet. Slow, you return. Slow, slow, and slow. One more time. I'm going to do this last one without this so you guys without the band can see. I want you to push against your thighs. Resist. So if I were to let go, my thigh will go flying. Sort of, but you know what I mean. And on that in, I want you to slide your hands on the insides. Slow, 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 and slow. So I'm going to do that one more time, whether you have the band or not, for my no bander friends. Take it out, and your hands are pushing. You can see the muscles in my pectorals, even in my neck. So I'm really starting to strain. Relax through here, right? Just engage. Now as you return to center, hands go to the inside, you resist, you resist. You resist and resist. Nice. We're going to stretch those outer hips once we get up. Again, next time we meet, if you've got a strap, great. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. There's always modifications for those who don't. We're going to go through our sun salutation. It's my version of Namaskar A, which is sun salutation A. And since there's absolutely no sun, we're going to salute and ask for it to come out. So arms go wide out to the side as you inhale. Sweep wide out to the side as you exhale and fold your nice tall spine down. Now press into your shins or your thighs, it doesn't matter. Half lift up, and then exhale, take this tall spine down. Keep your left hand down to the floor, open up your right hand, take your gaze with your hand. Exhale to sweep down, inhale to rotate left up. Exhale to sweep down, inhale to half lift. Exhale, tall spine all the way down. Keep your tall spine lifted, keep the back of your head reaching towards the ceiling. And inhale, we'll go wide out to the side. So you're going to see me look up a lot. Exhale, sweep and fold. I don't want you to look up a lot. I want you to use your ears. Press into your shins, half lift. Exhale, take it all the way down. I just feel rude when I'm not looking at you. Take your right arm, open it up. Sweep your right arm down, switch sides. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, you half lift. Exhale, you're all the way down. Last time we go rounds of 3. 3 is the magic number in yoga. Exhale, sweep and fold. So is 108, but I don't think you want to do this 108 times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale all the way down. Keep your left hand down, open up the right. It's okay to work the muscles in your face by smiling, even if I'm not funny. You can work the muscles in your eyes by rolling your eyes at me too. I can't see you, so it's okay. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, you're all the way down. Arms out wide to the side as you inhale. Lift up and look up. Feel the length from your hip all the way through your arms. Take your hands to heart center. Shift forward. For my friends who are going to stand, the second half of class is going to be standing. I want you to shift forward like you're going to slide off the chair, but don't slide off the chair. Ground your heels into the floor and press your outer feet out. We just worked the muscles, the adductors and abductors, for a reason. I want you to push into your toe box. Push into your heel, then toe box. Heel, toe box. You're going to feel your seat and your hamstrings play with each other and start to engage and engage. Now shift forward, hold low. You have a 4 count to stand. My 4 count, 3, 2, and 1. You're all the way up. Go ahead and release. I'm sure everything back there is barking at you, so let's stretch them out. I'm going to turn my chair sideways. If you have a mat, it would be great because the mat helps to stabilize the legs of the chair. If you're on like a wood floor, just be careful, be mindful, maybe tuck your chair against something so you feel stable. I don't want you guys to be stretching in a nice deep stretch and have your chair chase away from you. So sideways with your chair, take your hands to the top of the bottom of the chair, top of the back of the chair, that's it. And walk yourself back. We're going to take ourselves into start in a figure 7. So from my shoulders to my hands is the top of the 7. From my shoulders all the way down is the bottom of the 7. Now if you have low blood pressure or you are on blood pressure medicine, there will be times where I ask you to drop your head below your heart. You know that's not in your wheelhouse. You stay lifted. That's all. Otherwise, here we go. Just release your chest down. I want the top of your head to reach towards the back of the chair. I want your tailbone to reach towards the wall behind you. And I want you to take a look. And if you feel like your feet, you can see mine, are in front of your hips, walk them back. Remember, you're a 7. And I know in some calligraphy scripts that 7 comes forward. We are a straight line down 7. So no fancy script here, just a plain old block 7. And then slowly begin to lift up. Just take a step forward with your right foot. I'm going to talk about bending through your knee. You're going to bend at your ankle or behind. Never safe to go in front of your ankle for us, for this chair yoga sequence. There are times it's acceptable, but not with me and not right now. So knee at or behind your ankle. Let your left foot go out behind you. So 10 toes are forward. You're on a railroad track, not a balance beam. So if you feel like you're wobbly, separate your legs apart from each other a little bit more. I like to be more in a tighter railroad track. Same thing like we did in our hip flexor stretch when we were seated. Squeeze through your left seat, press your left hip forward, and then push the chair away. So tendency is going to be to lean forward. When we lean, our knee leans. And then now we're forward of our ankle, and that's not a safe place right now for our ankle, for our knee, excuse me. So push the chair away. If that means your knee bends less, I'm okay with that. Are you? Send your, what do we have, right leg. Left hand can stay on the chair. It is just here for balance and support. Right arm goes up overhead. If you feel good, your left arm follows your right. Maybe you just feel a little good and you get light with that hand. And that's okay too. Keep your gaze straight ahead. Breathe your shoulder blades back. Breathe your sacrum back. You're going to feel that little low belly power up again. That's what I'm looking for. Now send your right thumb back behind you. Lift your gaze even more. If at any time you lift your gaze and you lose your balance, put your gaze back where it was. But you're welcome to take this into a back bend as deep as you want to or not want to. No pressure in your low back. So I want you to think about your tailbone reaching towards your heels. So you elongate the low back and curl from the middle back. Go ahead and take your right hand onto the chair. Here's our low balance. I want you to shift forward. Lift your left heel. The slowest step in with your left heel you could possibly get. If it needs to dribble its way in, it dribbles its way in, but it's a slow step in. So your right foot takes a lot of the weight. Your left foot gets there and your right leg says, thank God. All right, send that right leg back behind you. 10 toes forward, railroad tracks. Bend into your left knee. Squeeze your right seat so you ground your hips. Remember, your pelvis right here, you want it squared towards the back of the chair. From here, you're either at or behind and you push away. Think shoulders over hips. Keeping your option is to keep your right hand on the chair now and sweep your left arm up or both arms. I'm going to go both arms this round. Lift your thumbs back. Breathe your shoulder blades back. Breathe your sacrum back so you feel your tailbone grow long and that low layer of your abdominals fire up a little bit. A little bitty tug in there. And now maybe you lift into a back bend. that's not in your wheelhouse, that's okay too. Go ahead and take your hands back down to the chair. Power off your back leg and take the slowest step in that you possibly can get. And again, if it needs to tap, it taps super lightly. And then from here, you're gonna just push away to create an arm's length of space. I'm gonna turn my chair towards you guys, or a little bit towards you guys, so you can see our marching. You're gonna stay where you're at, facing your chair. Hopefully you don't have to turn your head. But I'm gonna turn sideways so we can see. Your chair is there for support. You are light with your hands on the chair. All I want you to do is lift your left heel and then put it back down. So I feel good leaving a hand off the chair. I'm gonna put that hand on my hip. And I want you to feel the majesty of the muscles, right? You can feel your seat. You can feel your outer leg. How does it adapt? You can even feel, if you push, you can feel that hip flexor start to squeeze. It's awesome. Your body is awesome. Whether it's where you want it to be or not, it's awesome. Now lifting left heel, lighten the load on the toe. Put the toe down, heel down. Right heel lifts, right toe lifts, down and down. Lift and lift, down and down. You guys continue this marching. And I'm going to show you some don'ts. Don't lean over to one side and lift and put down, and lean over to the other side and lift and put down. Try to stay in the center line. Try to find your big toe ball mound. That will help keep your knee where it belongs. It's really hard for your hip to travel outside of your knee line. It's easy for your knee to travel outside of your hip line, which is not good either. The next right leg lifts and hold. Now if that means you have to put your hand back to the chair bottom, oh well. Now I want you to play with lightening the load on the chair bottom. And go ahead and take the toe down, heel down. We continue our march. Left heel, left toe, down and down. Right heel, right toe, down and down. So when we were seated, we worked through the abductors and the adductors, right? Now we're working laterally. Now we're working the anterior and posterior. So working in the front line of the body and the back line of the body. Holding your next left heel, lift, toe, lift. Don't think I forgot we were holding. You're welcome to take your hands to the chair. You're welcome to say, nah, I got this one. And falling equals putting your foot back down to the floor. It's not a bad way to fall. All things considered, if I was gonna fall, that's what I would pick. Either way, you can see my foot wobbling, awesome. Take it nice and slow and back down to the floor. All right, now we're gonna stretch through your back. You stay where you're at. I'm gonna turn my chair so that you guys can see me from this side. We're gonna move from figure 7 into a downward dog. Downward dog is more like an upside down triangle. Now obviously we're not a triangle because our hands are not on the floor, but you get the idea. Pushing the back of your chair away, bending both knees. Now lift your hips high, turn your sitting bones towards the wall behind you. And now you just start to let heaviness come to your hamstrings. Heaviness comes to the back of your knees, to the back of your shins, and all the way down through your ankles. So maybe your legs straighten and maybe they don't. Keeping your neck neutral so your ears are in line with your biceps and your gaze is down, I'm gonna say about a foot closer to you than the chair legs. It all depends on your body length, arm length, and everything, but you know what I mean. And then we'll just bend through your right knee, nice and easy and slow. Bend through your left, and bend right, and bend left. So slowly, again, maybe here's the Rice Krispies. So what? Snap, crackle, and pop away. All right, hold both legs as straight as you can. We have one little, I'm gonna call it a sequence, a balance, and you guys are out. So pressing into the bottom of the chair, come up slowly. Remember I said we were an upside down triangle, and even though we weren't all the way upside down, it's still an inversion. Let your blood reflow nice and steady, and if you need a moment, take a moment, catch your breath. Let the blood drain from your face a little bit. We're gonna go into a traditional warrior one. So step your right foot forward, turn your left foot back behind you. You're gonna turn your left toes towards the left corner of the mat so that your hips, if this were a piece of pie, your hips are open right in between that. Okay, bending into your right knee a little, and remember what I said about knee position. Press the chair away with your right hand. Lift your left arm up overhead. I want you to find your left back edge of your foot and push into it. From here, maybe you lift your right hand. But again, if you are challenged with balance, maybe it's just today, Maybe it's just the past few weeks, fine. Keep your right hand down. Same arm as leg can stay down this time. And just breathe. Now I'm going to ask for some rotations of your arms. You're going to take it back, down and forward. Now if you've got both arms, back, down and forward. If you feel like, oh, lacking balance, then switch arms maybe. Either way, whatever way you're rotating, rotate the other way. And again, here's where you may hear some clicking. Embrace. Hold it on your next arms up overhead. Take your hands lightly to the bottom of the back of the chair, lift your back heel. And the slowest step in you could possibly get, I'm going to ask you to pause. So you're going to shift forward and pause. And then bring it all back into alignment. So imagine that you are a steady rod from your shoulder all the way through your heel. Keep your left foot forward, your right foot back. Turn your right toes out to the right corner of the mat. They turn out a little bit. If you feel good and you want to turn them out a little bit more, that's okay. As long as you don't collapse into the front edge of that foot. I want you to push into the outside edge of the foot so you feel the lift of your inner arch. Bending into your left knee and push the chair away. And now here, same arm as leg, stays on the chair, and you lift your opposite. If you already feel good and you're like, no, I feel comfortable, you can lift both arms and rotate. Switch the rotation, so whichever way you're going, you go the other way. We're almost there. Hold them up overhead. Feel strong in your warrior one. Warrior one is called strong warrior because absolutely you are grounded, you are steady, and you are strong. Hands lightly to the back of the chair. Lift your back heel. Pause in warrior three, so push and pause. Now stack your foot right underneath like you pendulum swing all the way up. All right, final balance. I'm going to turn to face you guys just so that you can see. You're going to stay facing your chair because you really don't need to see me. You're going to eventually find something to stare at that isn't me, but I get it in the beginning. We need to make that eye contact. Start with your feet hips width. Lift and spread your toes as wide as you can. Similar to our marching, all you're going to do is lift your left heel and pause. Just stay there. With your right hand, take it to the outside of your right leg and push in. We use the band. Some of you guys didn't have a band and you used your hands pushing against your outer thighs. Push in with that right so you stay right in line. You see what happens, right? Your hip comes outside, suck it back in. Now just turn your right heel towards the inside edge. Your left heel towards the inside edge of your right foot. And you're just gonna stay here. So if you already know tree pose and you're like, yeah, I got it, I challenge you to hold it here. Let go of your balance hand or whatever it is you're holding. Hands can come to the side, hands can come to hips. You can take them overhead, you can put them wherever you want. In order to come out, first turn your knee towards me, towards the back of the chair, I should say. And then put your left foot down. Second side, lifting just your right heel. Spread wide through your left foot. Now just take your left hand to the outside of that left leg and hug it in as you turn your right knee out to the right. Staying in line, opening up a little bit through the hip as promised. And again, you're welcome to float it up or let go of your hands on whatever you're holding on to. At least try not to white knuckle it. Take your knee back into the center, release your foot down. Let your legs maybe shake out a little bit. There's a little bit of work going on in the opposite side glute, I get it. Arms go wide out to the side as you inhale. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Take a gentle side stretch to your left. I want you to feel the length all the way in the right side of your body. Inhale back into the center. Grab your left wrist with your right. Take your side stretch towards the right. Again, feel all that length on the left side of your body. Now lift both hands up. Reach up like you're trying to grab something, some functional stretching here, right? Reach up as high as you can and then ease your shoulders out of your ears. Still keep your arms as straight as you can. Heels of hands together, finger pads together, one at a time. Slowly float your hands. As your hands float past your eyes, let your eyes follow your hands down towards your sternum. Let your thumb press into your sternum, thanking your body for what a perfectly imperfect vessel it is. Then float your thumbs up to that third eye space, the bridge of your nose, lifting your chin to parallel to the floor. Let this tactile feedback be a way of thanking your mind for what a perfectly imperfect vessel it is and everything it allowed you to do today. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for letting me practice with you. Keep your bodies healthy. Keep your minds healthy.